Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy here, for Nerds by Nerds, hanging out with some of my esteemed colleagues.
Nate.
Ted.
Ryan.
And today we're going to be talking about 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Let's get elfy with it.
Okay, so elves. What do you think?
The elves?
I mean, I
They
know
live
that,
in trees. They make cookies.
I know they're not mountain dwarves.
They come in 3 different flavors, right? Not mountain dwarf and no.
The other way-
Not Mountain Dwarf Light.
Yeah.
Not Mountain Dwarf Dark.
Yeah. So we had 3 sub races.
Yeah, high elf, wood elf, and dark elf.
I wouldn't have mind seeing the Eladrin back.
Meh.
You didn't like the
Eladrin
Eladrin?
are basically they're high elves. I mean, come
Ah,
on.
yeah,
they're,
but-
they're basically calling
the
another
sun.
race of.
I think they're a little bit different than the high elves.
They're high elves.
They're pretty much high elves that are
Higher.
High-
Yeah. Snootier.
They're on crack. Those elves are on crack.
Almost
yeah.
ascended elves.
Eladrin were the 4th edition super elves.
Yeah.
They kind of got more than your basic elf.
Well, it was just another race. They're based. They would actually be more comparable to your summer and winter court elves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you have to pay an extra $10 to the DM to play one of those?
Only on Tuesdays.
So your basic abilities that you would expect elves to have. They get dark vision. They get perception. They can't be they get advantage on saving throws against being charmed. They can't get put to sleep.
Normal elfy things.
They don't need to sleep. I mean, this is a lot of stuff that they've gone, that they've had throughout the previous editions.
They have the 4 hours of rest, the trance.
The trance.
Did you say dark vision?
Yeah,
Did you say? You just read through the list, didn't you?
I did.
Pay attention, goddammit.
While you were
You
off
say
reading,
perception?
While you were off reading about those other elves.
Do you want to read through the list again?
Maybe. I'll just mirror everything you just said.
Want to play repeater? Want to play repeater?
And they get a +2 to dex. Did you mention that?
Oh,
That is like as elf as it gets.
Yeah.
+2 to dex.
Can't be Elven without a plus 2 to Dex.
unless it's Dark Sun, then it's +4.
So we don't have 5th edition Dark Sun. It
Not
does not
yet.
exist.
Thank goodness.
Why'd you say thank goodness? We like Dark Sun.
I like Dark Sun, but I also like living.
I don't know.
That and
I'm-
That's
you know
another
what?
campaign.
Because when they come out with the Dark Sun, they're going to have come out with Psionics, and I'm really worried about Psionics stinking as bad as it has in certain editions that I won't mention.
Like anything beyond second.
Indeed.
when they made it, when they tried to make it not broken, yeah, that's when I hated it.
Come on, I want to be in a psionics and just be like, oh, I'm a 3rd level psionicist. That's right, I'm a god.
I can kill everything.
I break your world with my mind.
Mind powers.
I do miss Detonate. I do miss Detonate. And Disintegration.
What's
I miss
the
those.
what was the one that you've used where people just attack you for several rounds?
Oh yeah, that one is disgusting. I forget the name of something, but you're able to absorb kinetic energy. It might be kinetic energy absorption.
Yeah, that was sick. That one
So
was
elves.
Yeah, elves.
A fan favorite of the elf section is. So 2/3 of the section on elves are about elves other than dark elves, and yet the illustration is Dritz.
Clearly a dark elf.
It's Dritz. There we go. All right.
Elf.
Yeah.
We see the drow.
Yeah.
And yet they're
Everything's like they're dark and evil. Never a GM should never ever let you play one. Here's a
Get
dark
permission.
elf. Yeah. Here's a dark.
Well,
elf.
there's a butterfly and a leaf and a spear and a house.
Yeah.
When you
With-
go to
with
the
something else like a
little
mouse.
highlighted in green sections, were it not for one renowned exception, the race of drow would be universally reviled.
Right.
So it's like
So one person.
So we got one guy who did really well, so we're gonna just incorporate it.
Well, the other odd thing too is the little reading it beforehand excerpt is actually from a non-elf.
Yeah.
In all the other ones, they're actually from the race, but in this one, it's actually a human talking about an elven city.
Right.
So I guess it still works, but they kind of broke the pattern on that one a little bit.
So
Broke form.
With your high elf, you're getting your +1 to intelligence. You get all your elf weapons. You get a wizard cantrip, and you get an extra language. So, right there, that's pretty much everything I expect when I think of
You're
elf.
quintessential elf.
It's like, yep, they can use these weapons. Yeah, of course they know magic. Yeah, of course they know another language. It's just what you would expect, and then having that choice. But then if you wind up going with, say, ranger or rogue, you could go with wood elf and have that extra movement. They get the increase to wisdom, so that's good for rangers. It's good for rogues so that they can get perception and whatnot. You still get your elf weapons. You get an extra 5 foot of movement. And then you get the ability, Mask of the Wild, you can attempt to hide even when you're only lightly obscured by foliage, heavy rain, falling snow, mist, and other natural phenomena.
Which gives them that cool wood elf feel of
Out of nowhere,
they just
playing
mysteriously
things.
appeared, or they just mysteriously disappeared.
Right.
Right. So we have our snobby elves, we have our hippie elves, and then we have our evil elves, who you should probably never ever play.
Except for here's all the information to be able to do so. Yeah.
Why aren't you in a DMG?
Now I know this is an extra touchy situation because you've got a drow elf, but with their sunlight sensitivity that they get, if you played a ranger with a beast companion, it's not, the sunlight sensitivity is not going to affect your animal companion.
Oh,
So it
that's
can
a good
attack
point.
without suffering the negatives.
So your panther can have his full attack.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's true. You give it to them all the time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
Because it's got to be a panther. You have to have 2 scimitars. And, yeah.
And
So-
worship
Well,
of Forgotten
they've
Realms.
got really
DD.
nice dark vision of 120 feet. They get
Which-
their charisma boost of +1.
right.
Even though they're hated, they still have a powerful personality. And they've got the drow magic. They get the different drow spells, the classic drow spells.
Dancing light, fairy fire, darkness.
Not levitate though.
No, well, I think that was reserved for the nobles.
Yeah. And then their weapon training, their weapons are a little different than the high elf.
They get one less weapon.
Yeah,
They
but
do.
they get rapiers, short swords, and hand crossbow. So
So
useful in tight quarters.
with
So-
all the sub races of elf, pretty much it covers every class.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on which sub race, they're optimal for. Elf is optimal for every class.
Yeah, you could find a way.
Well, I mean, who doesn't want an extra wizard cantrip?
So
No one.
no one ever.
Well, I mean, so what I've seen people do with, like, say, the an Elven warrior class, as opposed to bothering with any sort of ranged weapon, the ranged weapon is the cantrip that you're dropping.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, yeah, the arrow versus flame bolt. Really.
yeah.
And the range of flame bolt's pretty decent. So
Or I mean, but everyone loves Ray of Frost too for the slowdown effect.
Yes,
Because
that is good.
really, you could keep outpacing people. You shoot it, you move back. You shoot it, you move back. You could like outrange somebody for a good long ways.
And it's a D8, right?
I think it's
Ray
a
of Frost
D8.
is D8, yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
a D8.
like
and
a
then
regular
the knock.
bow is
Yeah.
D8, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
But
So-
you would wind up getting your dex on it. But
So if your intelligence is decent, so whatever class you are, if your intelligence is decent, then it's an actual.
no,
critical
because
shot.
you only get to die.
yeah, you don't get.
Oh no,
your
not the
modifier.
pluses to damage. I'm talking about. Oh, you're
Yeah.
saying you get your dex damage. That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But D8 and slow 10 feet is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Weaken somebody down, and then they get close, and then, well, especially when you couple that with the what's the one ranger build, the hunter where the one where if somebody's already damaged, you're dealing an extra D8 to them.
The
So
Hunter's
you
Mark.
Hunter's Mark. So yeah, basically, or well, it's not even a spell; it's the ability,
Mhm.
the ranger ability. But you've already damaged them with a Ray of Frost. Now they close with you, and you're getting that extra D8 to attack them now. Yeah, so it's kind of sweet.
And they're slowed. And they're slowed. I'm going to run away from you because you're so slow.
Just can't stand how slow
So
you are.
I know, I looked at Elf right from the beginning, even before we actually got the official PHB, and it kind of renewed my fervor for the Elf that I used to have in second edition. It's like, heck, 80+% of my characters in second edition were Elves. I don't know how you guys, feel about it, how much it pushes this to the forefront for you guys.
My first character I ever played was an elf.
Was it as a class? And this race?
No, actually, I actually started with a D&D, so he was a wood elf.
My
Yeah.
first character in 5th edition in your game that we're going to play is later is going to be. I mean, he's an elf,
Yeah.
so, and that's my first character that I chose elf over everything else. So
Very cool.
They're not bad for not being mountain dwarfs. I'm going to say that.
I mean, they need to shrink a little bit, get a little bit more filled out,
Get some
get some
beard.
beard going. But other than that, like, I don't know. I like drow, but I would never like. I'm lawful evil, neutral evil is usually where I'm leaning. The anti-drits,
Yeah.
But yeah.
So would you play a drow in an above world campaign?
Yeah, I would do it. I mean, if I, like a drow bard would be pretty cool. Like, like I said,
I don't think I don't think their sunlight sensitivity is really that bad, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, how often are you outside?
in direct sunlight.
Yeah. Like, I mean, frankly, even if you're in a wooded area, I would say you're not in direct
an
sunlight.
old forest
That's true.
thing that you're going to have in fantasy campaign, you're not going to have a lot of sunlight in.
In the dungeons, you're not going to be any inside enclosure, really.
Pretty much on the plains is where you're going to have. the
Yeah,
most problem. In
open
town, where
road.
there's not
Okay.
trees.
Yeah. See, I did not read it thoroughly enough and didn't see the actual direct sunlight. It's like, oh, you get disadvantage on attack rolls when you're in light. What the hell?
You're very specific.
Well, yeah,
And there's only a couple spells that actually reproduce direct sunlight. So
yeah, and what I would do then,
and the
basically,
light spell is not one of them.
I would just lure people into alleyways or underhanging, like, eaves of things. Like, hey, come talk to me over here.
come under this canopy.
You have to be put on your lightning makeup and be like, heck no, you're a dark elf in a shadow. I ain't going over there.
Yeah. Well,
Because it sounds like you're gonna, like a drow elf is gonna
Keep your
deal
cowl.
with some,
Dude,
put your cowl.
some
Drew.
bad
Warlock.
news from general people.
Warlock. I don't care what pact you are, but take Devil Sight
Yeah.
and you just Pact of the Blade. Let's go Pact of the Blade. Devil Sight. Well, you drop darkness on yourself and your enemies all the time,
Yeah.
and just stab the crap out of them when they can't see.
That works. That works. It's fair. Fair by being unfair.
Yeah,
I like it. I
and
like it.
fair.
That-
very
that's-
fair
That's
for you.
very drow. That's very drow.
And the only thing that would actually make that better is if you can get darkness as one of your warlock spells. That would be kind of amazing.
Well, there is one. Oh, I don't know for Patrick.
I don't know. I don't know if
It
it's
might
on
be
list
one
or
of the
not.
packs or whatever, but that sounds pretty fun. I would absolutely play a drow warlock.
And it's totally optimal.
Yo, and then the demon pact with the demon pact, because drow and demons, they kind of go together. Yeah,
Warlock spell, 2nd level darkness.
there you go.
Yeah.
So you got it.
And then you go with being a finesse fighter because you have the dex.
Yeah.
Go Pact of the Blade. One of your other invocation, as soon as you can get to it, I think you have to be 5th level to do it, but is you take the extra attack. And you definitely
Well,
go.
there's the one where you regenerate, you heal for the damage you deal, right? Isn't that the one with the pact of the Blade?
That one vampiric sounding one isn't. It does necrotic damage.
Oh.
The one that we thought was vampiric.
Oh,
I'm
it's
pretty
not
sure it just
vampiric.
does necrotic.
Oh,
Just
It
does
doesn't,
more
it doesn't
damage.
give it to you.
Curses.
But it's necrotic. It's,
No,
like,
but
person's
no,
not
the
getting back
fiend
from
one
that
though.
stuff.
When you kill stuff with the fiend, it gives you temporary hit points.
Oh, yeah. So you get a nice little high off of it. That's cool.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So-
So,
So
lots
elves.
of
Lots of options with elves.
lots of options. As you said, you can pretty much do any class with it and kick butt. So I'm
What about the flavor stuff? Are you guys delve into that?
Ooh,
It's
right.
nice. I read it a while ago, so I don't remember all of the.
I always like the flavor text for how the different races view them, or how they view, how everything with that is, like how they view the dwarves, how they view halflings, how they view humans.
Elves are pricks when they view other races, pretty much.
Yeah, they're kind
Dwarves are dumb, clumsy oafs. Halflings are people of simple pleasures, and that is not a quality to scorn. Humans, all that haste, their ambition to drive, accomplish something before their brief lives pass away. Blah, blah, blah.
So everything in their flavor stuff really makes them snobby too.
Yeah, human endeavors seem so futile sometimes. Yeah, so if you
If
read
only they could slow down and learn some refinement.
the nice thing, you read this section, how they view other races, and then you can read what other races think of them, and it gives you a
Yeah.
good idea of like kind of your place in the world as your race. So.
as above everyone else.
If you want
As
to
an
be,
elf, yes.
if you want to be the stereotypical, vantage point.
So far, right, elves in our Griffin Gaff campaign, we haven't really delved into anything but the high elves, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, no one's been a wood elf. Right?
I
Yeah.
want to do wood elves, kind of like that old, like sort of like dramatic superstition sort of thing. You know, like
not
just like
Fae.
well, yeah, no, I want to make them almost feel like Fae with the whole sort of disappearing out of the woods sort of thing, the stealth,
Yeah.
like sort of like the like the high elves are the ones that you know. The other ones are kind of like these sort of wild card sort of things, like almost like chaotic neutral barbarians in a way.
Well, you could tell
Is
you
he going to be
technically
a
you could
chaotic
do
neutral
that. You
barbarian?
could make them tribal,
Yeah,
and we could do something with them.
kind of like the Picts,
Or
but,
even like
more
horsemen.
mysterious.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm seeing your narrative here.
Yeah, the Germanic Picts, man, be pretty
Okay.
cool.
Drow. I don't know what we're gonna do with Drow though.
Stick him in the hole.
Stick them in a hole. Leave 'em there.
We'll table that one for now.
Yeah, I think in do we even have an Underdark really besides like cave
No, ours
structure
is the
and-
Underdark. We just put
Underdark.
umlauts over top of it.
the
Yeah.
Umlaut Dark.
Yeah.
Everything's solid. There is no Underdark. We filled it in with cement years ago.
They just thought it was dumb.
It was the gnomes. It was the gnomes. These gnomes have concrete machines
they
just pumping it in
kept pouring
there.
it in.
Supervised by dwarves. That's the foreman. Yeah.
Yeah. This is how we fix our dark elf problems.
Yeah.
I don't know what your problem is, Forgotten Realms. You just fill those holes up.
I got 99 problems with a dark elf ain't one.
So, elves are everything we expect them to be. They're decent. I would actually even play an elf.
What?
Maybe.
A mountain dwarf elf.
If he was raised by mountain dwarfs and could wear medium armor.
Come on. I made other characters,
That's true. Yeah, you have a gnome.
I have a gnome. They got seen the light of day, my forest gnome.
Yeah.
I got my half-orc.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm going to make a bunch of for the meat grinder. One of them may even be an elf. Hey, wood elf, man, that's the most badass monk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
the
gonna,
wisdom
I was
bump,
gonna
yeah,
make one
yeah.
for that food elf.
Oh, yeah. And then with your speed, with the speed as well.
Yeah, you start off at 35.
Yeah.
For
So,
wood
and then
elf,
you,
so-
as a monk, you keep getting,
Yeah.
you get the
Higher.
bumps.
Yep.
And they also make a decent druid. You get the better weapons. Dex never hurts to
You got
have.
the wisdom.
You get the wisdom, and they already have that woodland thing going on with disappearing.
Yeah.
Now all you need is stealth proficiency from someplace,
Right, right.
and you're set.
Yeah,
Any
you
backgrounds
got
get stealth?
A
Couple of
bunch.
them.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
I actually feel like the urchin's a better criminal background than the criminal background.
Sometimes I feel that way too.
Maybe criminal background is more like on the organizational level, while urchin is just
The street level.
you're stealing bread and stuff.
You are stealing.
You're
random
Aladdin.
stuff.
Yeah. basically.
Yeah.
So-
You're Aladdin. Do you get a
Aladdin.
magic lamp and a monkey?
Yeah, maybe.
No, you get a mouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the
Magic
monk
mouse.
the monk does have just your speed gets increased by. It doesn't say your speed is now
Oh,
40.
that would be really.
But
good.
yeah, well, barbarian too, man.
Does the barbarian get a bump to speed?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
I
that's
think
yeah. I
And,
was.
it would have been a bad way to do it, especially because if you're a dwarven monk and you're like, your speed is now 35. I'm like, yes,
Da, 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 da.
speedy.
Yeah, you get this big increase. But yeah, are the barbarians getting this speed this edition?
They do.
So with elf, anything else, or can we pretty much?
Ted's just testing out the barbarian because I think the barbarian wood elf would be pretty
Well,
decent.
I was thinking of doing polearm master is just a badass feat, but doing like a polearm master wood elf because you get the extra speed. I don't know if is he getting anything from barbarian? Or,
Yeah, fast movement at 5th level. Your
you-
speed increases by 10 feet.
So you have to wait a while, one level after you have polearm master. But you I was thinking it really gets you able to like move around the battlefield and like be able to
and smack stuff.
Yeah, smack things hard. You get polearm master, you get sentinel because those two feats just go together.
I might have to do the drow warlock for the meat grinder.
Yeah, be an option. For
I'm gonna have a list. I'm gonna be like, I can't wait till this
Darkness and
character
Devil Sight?
dies.
That would
Yeah.
be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll totally do that right where the party is too. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Of course not. Be like, I don't have
I'm not
a list.
affected. Yeah.
Yeah.
So elves, man, I think we covered them. It's like everything. And I said it in the last video shot. It's like every time we do something and you want to play it,
Yeah.
nothing has struck me as well. That completely sucks. As of yet.
Yeah,
Just-
well, that's
I-
definitely off my list.
I'm right there with you. Everything that we talk about, it's like, yeah, I'll play that. Let's make a character. And
The only one I'm not like thrilled about is the non-variant human. And then I was surprised in my game, Pete's playing one.
He's like, oh, I don't want the feet. I'd rather have the
plus
6
one to
plus
everything?
ones.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like Elvish has left the building.
Yeah, I think so. So you can find us at nerdarchy.com or on Facebook or any of those social media sites.
We also have a subreddit on Reddit. It's called Nerdarchy.
You with the subreddit. Gotta mention the subreddit.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we do have the subreddit. You should go hang out, check out, share your stuff there because we want to read
Click
it.
subscribe.
Click subscribe, share, comment,
All
all
that
that
good
good stuff. Until next time,
Stay
stay
nerdy.
nerdy.